addiction looks like, but why it happens, and how recovery can be supported. To understand addiction, we need to move beyond the behavior and ask a deeper question: who is the person behind it? Because addiction does not sit in isolation. Research and clinical experience consistently show that substance abuse is often linked to underlying factors such as unresolved trauma, chronic stress, mental health conditions like depression and anxiety, social and economic pressures. In many cases, like drugs, alcohol, they become coping mechanisms, what we call maladaptive coping mechanisms and strategies. These provide temporary relief from emotional pain, but over time they create dependency and worsen the very problems that we are meant to escape. It is also important to recognize patterns. Addiction rarely begins dramatically. It often starts subtly. A drink in the evening to relax, a drink earlier in the day, then multiple points through the day. Over time, this becomes cyclical, where the person is no longer choosing the substance, but relying on it to function. Similarly, the drugs, the initial use may be experimental or situational, but repeated use alters brain chemistry, reinforcing dependency and reducing the ability to cope without the substance. Your Honor, we must also address an important misconception. Not everyone who drinks becomes an alcoholic. Not everyone who uses drugs become addicted. However, vulnerability increases significantly in individuals who have experienced trauma, especially childhood trauma, or who lack access to mental health support. And this brings us to a broader issue. We are currently facing a global mental health crisis. Locally, the effects are compounded by factors such as poverty, grief and loss, intergenerational trauma, limited access to healthcare and rehabilitation services. This condition creates an environment where addiction can take root and spread. What makes this particularly urgent is that addiction is